Now, you can either have the washer and dryer where the lovely Smithers is standing, or you can trade it all in for what's in this box.
The box! The box!
At the end of the Princess Twilight Sparkle two-parter, the main six are relieved of the elements of harmony, and a mystery box with 6 keyholes is introduced. It's pretty obvious what it's implying, but we're almost halfway through Season 4, and the box has only been directly mentioned in 2 episodes. The one where it was introduced, and the episode directly following it. Now, going by what I just said, it may seem like the writers have simply forgotten about it, but if you've been watching the show to this point, you'll know that candidates for keys have already shown up in 2 episodes. These 2 episodes are Rarity Takes Manhattan, and the last episode, Rainbow Falls. While both of these episodes have completely different settings, a different set of characters to focus on, and a different moral, they both have a lot of similarities. And if these key episodes are what they appear to be, then there's some very important similarities to pay attention to. We're going to get into some headcanon in a bit, but let's just start off with the facts. In order to resolve the conflict of Princess Twilight Sparkle, the main 6 had to give up the elements of harmony to the Tree of Harmony, where they came from in the first place. When they did, the tree in return sprouted a giant flower, which revealed a box. The box in question is locked, and there are 6 keyholes, which means there are 6 keys. It's heavily implied, but not outright stated, because where's the fun in that each of the main 6 will have a key that corresponds with them. In episode 3 of the season, Castlemania, the very first scene involves Twilight looking everywhere in her library for some sort of answer to what the box is. She travels to the old castle of Celestia and Luna to search the library there for any further answers. Unfortunately, this is the end of the box being mentioned. Even later in the episode, the box itself seems to be completely forgotten about, and instead, the important thing to take away is the journal that replaces the letters to Celestia. That's the end of any direct reference to the box, but there's some more stuff in the season that might be important to that box. In episode 8, Rarity Takes Manhattan, and we're going to get into some spoilers here, we get the first Rarity episode of Season 4. In this episode, Rarity's generosity is taken advantage of by a character named Suri Polomare. Rarity's fashion line is stolen when she borrows some fabric. Then, in order to compete, Rarity takes advantage of her friend's generosity in making her a new set of dresses. She goes to the fashion show, and the audience is pretty excited by the new line, based on what she found in her hotel, but she realizes she's made a huge mistake when we cut to the audience and her friends aren't there. Eventually, Rarity makes it up to her friends by giving them an exclusive showing of a play called Henny of the Hills. After the show, Suri's assistant Coco Mel walks into the auditorium and tells Rarity that her generosity with Suri and her friends made Coco realize that it's not every pony for herself in the town. Coco then hands Rarity a present, which turns out to be a spool of rainbow-colored yarn. The importance to the box might not be obvious in this episode, but there are 2 very important clues, and they become even more important when compared with episode 10, Rainbow Falls. The 3 important clues in Rarity Takes Manhattan are 1, the rainbow shine on the velvet rope in front of the empty chairs for her friends, 2, the rainbow shine on Rarity's eyes when she realizes that she shouldn't have taken advantage of her friends, and 3, the rainbow shine on the spool of thread at the end of the episode. Then, in Rainbow Falls, we get an episode focused on Rainbow Dash. In this episode, Rainbow Dash's loyalty is tested by the Cloudsdale Equestrian Games team, who are superior to the Ponyville team. Rainbow Dash wants to compete in the Equestrian Games and represent Ponyville, but in order to do that, she and her team need to qualify first. The Ponyville team consists of Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, and Bulk Biceps. As the teams are training, Soren, one of the Cloudsdale Flyers, is injured, and the Cloudsdale team is short 1 pony. They try to convince Rainbow Dash to join their team, and Rainbow Dash begins to train with the Cloudsdale team more than with the Ponyville team. Eventually, she's forced to make a decision, and decides to fake being injured instead. While in bed, she meets up with Soren again, who reveals that he's feeling better, but that the Cloudsdale team advised him to stay put anyway. Derpy's called in to replace Rainbow Dash, but when she sees how loyal her friends are being to her at the medic station, she realizes that she made a mistake by abandoning them, and decides to compete for Ponyville after all. Her team qualifies, and the Cloudsdale team apologizes to Soren for trying to replace him. At the end of the episode, Spitfire pins her Wonderbolt's medal onto Rainbow Dash. Once again, we're given 3 Rainbow Shine clues. The first 2 occur one right after the other, just like in Rarity Takes Manhattan. First, a rainbow shines over a dropped Ponyville flag, and then Rainbow Dash's eyes shine when she realizes that she shouldn't have abandoned her friends. And the final rainbow shine occurs at the end of the episode. The Wonderbolt's medal shines just like the spool of yarn before the episode cuts out. These 2 items, the spool of yarn and the Wonderbolt's medal, are the supposed first 2 keys to open the box. And while they don't look like keys, they are items that are important to their respective characters, and ones that reflect them overcoming the episode's obstacles. Now, each of the main 6 already knows how to be their element. They already had everything sorted out before Twilight even arrived at Ponyville. Fluttershy had always been exceptionally polite and kind. Rarity had always been very generous with her time and money. Pinkie Pie has pretty much always been laughter incarnate. Rainbow Dash was very loyal to her job as a weather pony. Applejack did an honest day's work on the farm every day. And Twilight Sparkle before Season 4 became so good at magic that she ascended to the level of Alicorn. What makes Rarity Takes Manhattan and Rainbow Falls special, though, is that these two objects were given to Rarity and Rainbow Dash by someone else who learned how to be generous and loyal to their friends. Coco had a revelation about being generous thanks to Rarity, and Spitfire and Fleetfoot were both taught a lesson in being loyal by Rainbow Dash when they realized how they were acting towards Soren. If the spool and metal are keys, then perhaps in order to acquire a key, the main six each have to teach someone else how to be their element, and in turn, they have to receive an item from them that embodies that lesson that they taught them. This is actually a very interesting direction for the series if what I said is true. It means that the ponies are evolving beyond learning and starting to teach others. In a way, the spool and metal are both kind of homework for Coco and the Cloudsdale team, Sans Soren. I don't think the spool and metal are inherently magical. I just think that when they become symbols of the lesson that they learned, they become enchanted or something like that. You know, here's hoping that what I just theorized doesn't fall flat on its head when Pinkie runs into Cheese Sandwich. Let me know if you enjoyed this video.
A boat's a boat, but the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. You know how much we've wanted one of those.